right, I got a different one for you guys. I am out here on Summersville Lake in West Virginia on a kayak, thinking a lot about the role of perspective in business. I think perspective is super important for people in business, entrepreneurs, business owners, to figure out what you need to do in order to gain perspective. For me, that's spending some time in God's beautiful creation. Went on a hike, saw some beautiful views. Maybe I'll put that right there. Then went and bought a bow from that guy. Chris hooked me up. I bought a Hoyt bow. But I enjoy getting outside. I enjoy spending time out in God's creation. I think it's really important for me in my business life to spend some time gaining perspective. As you excel and expand and grow, I've noticed that there is just less of an emphasis on your time. Your time is valuable, of course, but time spent on the right things is valuable, and determining what those things are and then making a decision from a place of, from like just a good place, like not a place of fear or unrest or impatience, but a place of clarity of thought, clarity of mind, clarity of vision and focus and strategy, making decisions and then executing tactically on those decisions with the proper levels of energy. Yeah, so perspective and taking some time to rest, in my opinion, is a superpower in business. You can execute with clarity and efficiency and effectiveness and with proper energy levels when you take that time. During this little season of gaining some perspective right now, last weekend I was out in Lake Wallenpaupack with my boys fishing. And here I am in Summersville Lake in West Virginia. Or I guess that was 2 weekends ago. So fortunate, so blessed. But one of the things that I've been thinking about and gaining a lot of perspective on is the mission and vision of this new project that we're working on. There's more to come on the project. I'm not going to share a lot of the details just yet. But what I will share is something I learned from H.J. Heinz in the biography on his life by E.D. McCarthy, I believe it is. There was a quote in that book that said, many believe, something like this is my version of it, many believe that Christian principles and the principles of business and effective execution in business are mutually exclusive, meaning the two cannot coincide. They cannot exist together. It's the thought and the idea and the opinion that effective business and abiding by business principles prohibits you from aligning yourself with Christian values and Christian principles. And the quote in this book, so it basically said, business principles and Christian principles and practices are mutually exclusive. They cannot exist together. That was like a common thought in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And the author said, H.J. Heinz proved that inaccurate, which I just thought was such a loaded statement. I feel like it's easy to gloss over that and misunderstand the gravity of that statement. Like the dude's life, and this is like Heinz Ketchup, the Heinz company. They were in brick making, then they moved into processed vegetables like horseradish. Obviously everybody knows him now for the ketchup. But the guy is a living example of how to be a Christian in business. Well, was a living example and a model for how to be a Christian in business, and I thought that was just awesome. He devoted himself so wholeheartedly to his people. He overspent on them, obviously built a very successful business and built good profit. Overspending on people is what H.J. Heinz did, and he built a good, profitable, sustainable, just legendary business, but he used it for a specific reason, a specific purpose. He was very principled. In one portion of the book, it talked about how there was a bunch of financiers, or in this day and age we'd call it venture capital, private equity, going public, whatever it might be, a bunch of financiers pursuing H.J. Heinz and offering him just enormous sums of money to buy his business off of him. And their sales pitch for buying the business was, don't you want to just buy a beautiful home on the water and just relax? And he was repulsed by that idea. He said, man is designed to work. There was work before the fall. The fall of man in Genesis 3, when Eve ate the apple and then Adam was complicit. There was work before that. when there was perfection in the world. We were still working. There wasn't sweat on our brow, it wasn't toil, it wasn't painful, but there was work. And I believe this fiction of retirement is dangerous for the Christian because we're designed to be in community, we're designed to contribute, we're designed to serve and help others, and that's work. So like maybe your work, at some portion of the time in your life looks a little different. But don't just take the money from the financiers and ride off into the sunset. That's not effective. So moral of the story here is take time to relax, unwind, clear your mind, because it brings clarity and energy for your decision making and for your execution on tasks in business. It's okay to do. It's a good thing to do. I probably would have moved faster and made less mistakes if I did it more often early on. So I highly recommend it. And then second, one of the things that I'm realizing in this next phase of my career is my business practices and my Christian values are not mutually exclusive, and I'm going to be much more overt about those things. That's what I got for you today. Over there, just beautiful. Oh my goodness. Talk about some beautiful creation. Man, thank you God for giving me the opportunity to check this out this morning. Right as the sun's coming up over that mountain. It's a morning well spent. Holy crap.